Here are our top stories in 90 seconds.
We hear there's a mudslide, and so we don't know what that means.
I-70 through Glenwood Canyon is back open tonight after several mudslides shut the highway down.
We need the moisture, but we just don't need it concentrated in Glenwood Canyon, and we just ask for everybody's patience.
But this isn't a one-time thing. Why state officials think we will see more mudslides like this for years to come. While bad for mudslides, our rain has helped up the containment on wildfires burning across our state.
There's certain areas that we have not gotten to, but we've been able to place cameras that seem to have large enough spaces, voids, that occupants may still be in there. 5
days into their search, and rescuers are holding out hope. There are still survivors of a building collapse in Florida. This as the community is coming together.
Just seeing how people are walking up to the memorial, adding their own flowers, adding little post-it notes of personal sayings to make people feel better, it's incredibly heartwarming because it really does feel like it's helping.
Plus, Arvada gets ready to say goodbye to Officer Gordon Beasley tomorrow. How you can show your support. And a process is moving into its final stages to make La Alma Lincoln Park the first Latin historic district in Denver.
It's a district that's packed full of history and culture and really amazing stories about our city.
Good Monday evening, and thank you for watching Denver 7 News on Local 3. I'm Jessica Porter. Canyon has reopened in both directions. This weekend's heavy rains sent a sea of mud sliding into the burn scar and right onto I-70. This video was captured during a rafting trip along the highway through Glenwood Canyon. And this is something that could continue to have impacts for years to come because the soil is still unstable in those burn scars. Denver 7's Addie Guajardo joins us live from Glenwood Springs this evening. Addie, this caused a lot of backups all weekend long and into today.
Jessica, it truly did. Right now, traffic is moving smoothly onto I-70 eastbound right behind me. But I can tell you, I've been told countless visitors were left stranded out here or had to take a really long detour home. And I can tell you firsthand, it took us more than 6 hours to get from Denver to Glenwood Springs today using that westbound detour. Now, heavy rain triggered two mudslides over the weekend and shut down I-70 eastbound and westbound between exit 116 and 133 through Glenwood Canyon. Both mudslides happened in the same place near No Name. The Grizzly Creek fire from last year created a burn scar that brought down soup-like debris, making it difficult to clean up. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are expected throughout the rest of the week. Experts say they're working quickly to evaluate areas of concerns where other mudslides may be triggered, but they say that all depends on the intensity of the rain and where it falls. Now, I spoke with a business owner of a local art gallery. They tell me they have customers throughout the state, and the closures halted their art deliveries and prevented some of their customers from picking up purchases.
Hoping to go to there, but it was closed like for a half a day. So that's mean today it's Monday, and so I don't know when I'm gonna go there because like the weather it's like still rainy, and we don't know exactly if it's gonna work for us or not, but we'll see.
Now he tells me the reopening of these highways ease a relief. He's also worried about another mudslide and plans to wait just a little bit longer before resuming those art deliveries they have on hand. Now, I just saw a CDOT truck roll onto I-70 eastbound, just completely covered in mud. And our very own chief meteorologist, Mike Nelson, tells me that these mudslides could continue for the next 5 to 10 years. And that's because there's going to be no trees and no shrubs to prevent any of that mud from sliding down when that rain comes through. So we'll continue to bring you the latest on this. Reporting live in Glenwood Springs, Addie Guajardo, Denver 7 on Local 3.
It really is a domino effect. Thank you, Addie. The issue of mudslides is not just a high country problem. Yesterday, there was a 3 to 4 foot surge of debris and water flowing down Greer Canyon. There was also a surge reported in Left Hand Canyon, and you'll remember a fire burned in Left Hand Canyon last season. We want to bring in Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson now. Mike, we will see a chance of storms basically every day this week.
Yes, we will, Jessica. The next few days, we have a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. A fair amount of instability, so afternoon showers and thunderstorms, albeit scattered, will be in the forecast. Here's the view currently from Denver. This was a time lapse up in the mountains late this afternoon. You can see how those showers come in and bring locally heavy amounts of precipitation. Good news is temperatures are lower. Bad news, some of these locally heavy rainstorms will continue, and if they fall over a burn area, you will get some flash flooding problems. Not much to worry about right now in the Denver area. There's a little bit more that continues in some of the mountains. But the biggest story right now across the country is the heat wave in other parts of the nation. 103 right now in Seattle. It's in the upper 80s out in New York City. We are comfortably cool for now, but will it last? I'll have more details coming up in just a bit.
Thank you, Mike. And all that rain increases the chance of mudslides across the state, but it's really helping with the fires burning in Colorado right now. The Muddy Slide fire burning near Kremling is just over 4,000 acres. There are more than 240 people working that fire. The steamboat pilot says several trailers and a cabin have burned. Containment is expected to take weeks. There's better news from the Sylvan fire burning near Eagle. That one is now 19% contained. Firefighters credit their progress to rain and hard work. Several communities have canceled fireworks shows this year because of a combination of dry conditions and COVID. Others are going all in. You'll find a list of the biggest shows on the denverchannel.com. Today, a 10th body was recovered from the devastating condo collapse north of Miami Beach, Florida. The massive search and rescue mission is the largest non-hurricane disaster response the state has ever seen. More than 150 people are still unaccounted for, and that has left many families in anguish. Here is ABC's Stephanie Ramos.
Tonight, as rescuers carefully sift through that wreckage for any signs of life, the meticulous process compounding the suffering for families hoping for a miracle.
It is very difficult to know that your loved one could still be alive and have the hope to believe that, and at the same time just sit there and wait for that information to get to you.
For the second day, buses taking relatives of the missing to the site of the collapsed tower. This coming amid criticism from some frustrated relatives about the pace of the rescue effort.
How do they feel about the information that they are getting from officials, and now that they do have the opportunity to go down to the site and see the wreckage?
Well, their reaction is about this. You know, some people want to go, they want to be there, they need to be there, and others are scared.
But as those families wait in anguish, some answers for the loved ones of Ana Ortiz and her son Luis Bermudez, whose deaths were confirmed overnight. Her sister telling me the two were found together.
My nephew had muscular dystrophy, so he couldn't move. So I know for sure that when the alarm went off, she ran to him.
Anna's husband and two other relatives who were in the building at the time of the collapse are still unaccounted for.
¿Cómo se siente ahora en saber?
Her mother clutching the hand of a family member, saying the loss of Anna and Luis has destroyed her, but that it is a process she now has to go through.
We've seen it here firsthand. Families are experiencing a range of emotions. They are grieving, they are angry, and there's nothing they can do but wait. State and local officials emphasizing that they are searching for their loved ones and they are not slowing down. Stephanie Ramos, ABC News, Surfside, Florida.
Stephanie, thank you. We are still waiting on confirmation about the whereabouts of Cassandra Stratton. She's from Colorado. Her sister tells Sky News that she was on the phone talking with her husband, Michael, when the building came down. Michael is a prominent lawyer in our state. A woman was shot and killed this afternoon in Aurora. Police found her lying in the grass off North Dillon Way. Her name has not been released and no arrests have been made. Commerce City Police shot and killed a man they say was armed with a knife today. Officers were checking out a report of a family disturbance when there was a confrontation. Officers were not hurt. Officer Gordon Beasley will be laid to rest tomorrow morning, a little more than a week after the longtime Arvada police officer was ambushed in Old Town Arvada. Flags will be lowered to half-staff statewide in his honor. The procession will start at I-25 and Baseline Road tomorrow morning around 8:15 a.m. They will eventually turn onto 119th, which turns into 120th. Then they will head west on South Boulder Road to Flatiron Community Church, where Officer Beasley's memorial service will be held. You're asked to line the procession route. Many friends and family members are expected to speak.
Gordon Beasley was the best man I've ever known. He was a Renaissance man. He was just incredible. I mean, he was the type of man that I aspired to be.
Officer Beasley's service is not open to the public. You will be able to watch it on Denver7 starting at 10 or on the Denver7 Plus app. Today was the grand reopening of St. Charles Place Park in Denver's Cole neighborhood. The 2.5-acre park is on Lafayette Street next to the St. Charles Rec Center. It was designed by 5 Points Youth ambassadors, representing the community joining together to create a thoughtful design integrating surrounding spaces. Tomorrow, the Landmark Commission in Denver will hold a hearing about designating La Alma Lincoln Park as a historic cultural district. This would be significant because it would be the first cultural district in the city to specifically honor the Chicano movement. We spoke to a resident that has lived in the neighborhood for 5 years. He moved from Sloan's Lake because of overdevelopment.
It does provide protections for the neighborhood. It means what happened to us at Sloan's Lake is not going to happen again because 3-story infill projects don't happen next to single-story homes in this neighborhood when this gets passed. So it really is just a great way to protect your house, protect the place you live in, and protect the memories you have in this neighborhood.
The effort has been 4 years in the making, and more than 150 people have been involved. Denver City Council will hold a final vote in August.
The nationwide eviction moratorium won't be ending this week after it received an extension through July. So what do you need to know to prepare for next month? We have in-depth coverage.
Heat wave in Seattle, comfortably cool in Colorado. I'll explain the connection.
Plus, it's round 2 of opening day at Coors Field.
I've never missed opening day since they built the stadium, so I cried when COVID hit. But here we are now.
Coming up later, Rockies fans get to relive opening day as Coors Field returns to full capacity.
It feels normal again. It feels good to be normal again.